opportunity to consider the use of closed-circuit television in equine slaughterhouses and to present the views of the Scottish National Party. I congratulate my honourable friend from Dewey for Mariona on winning this debate today, which clearly has strong cross-party support. I'd also like to congratulate Kate Fowler of Animal Aid for her tireless work in bringing many of the issues presented here today to the attention of MPs and to colleagues in World Horse Welfare and Blue Cross. Mrs Mayor, undercover filming of poor welfare practices in slaughterhouses, as we've heard, has led to campaigns for a number of animal welfare groups to make it a legal requirement that all slaughterhouses install CCTV, including those slaughtering horses. It's worth reminding ourselves why we're debating this issue today. The investigations that have been conducted have highlighted cruelty and regulatory breaches in no less than 9 of the 10 randomly chosen English slaughterhouses filmed. The abuses included animals being punched and kicked in the head, burned with cigarettes, beaten with paddles and broom handles, sheep picked up by their fleeces and thrown across rooms or smashed head first into solid structures, animals attacked with shackle hooks, and animals given powerful and deliberate electric shocks through their ears, tails, abdomens and open mouths. This state of affairs is unacceptable. Currently, both the Food Standards Agency and the UK Government support the use of CCTV in slaughterhouses to prevent cruelty, but neither have yet taken the step of arguing it should be made a legislative requirement. There are 5 abattoirs in England licensed to slaughter horses, as we've heard. The public will undoubtedly be surprised to learn that a total of 12,431 horses have been slaughtered in these abattoirs over the past 3 years. Indeed, according to World Horse Welfare, 4,515 UK horses were killed in slaughterhouses in 2014 alone. Indeed, yes.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way, and I apologise to my honourable Welsh friend for having to arrive late. I come from the Scottish Borders, which has a rich equestrian tradition, but whilst there may be 5 slaughterhouses in England, there are none in Scotland. So we have the added impetus, the added need, the added interest in this issue south of the border. Would you agree with me that whilst CCTV is important, as we've heard, it needs to be just one of a package of measures that will ensure appropriate welfare of all animals sent to slaughter?
Paul Monaghan.
Honourable friend for the intervention. I absolutely agree with him. CCTV is an important initiative that will contribute to animal welfare across all nations of the UK. The practice is clearly relatively common, as is the gratuitous cruelty, and it is vitally important that consideration particularly is given to the fact that 40% of horse owners state that the cost of euthanasia is too high, leaving slaughterhouses as the only affordable alternative for their companion animals. You will be interested to know, Mrs Main, that no abattoir in Scotland, as my honourable friend has just said, is currently licensed to slaughter horses. Nevertheless, in Scotland, the welfare of animals at the time of Killing Scotland Regulations 2012 highlight the relevant standards. The regulations pertaining to horses notes, where a slaughterhouse is one in which horses are killed, the business operator must ensure that A, a separate room or bay is provided for the killing of horses, and no person may kill a horse except in that separate room or bay, and B, a layrage in which a horse is confined must contain at least one loose box which is so constructed as to minimise the danger of any horse injuring itself or any other animal confined in that layrage. Part 13 of Schedule 1 of the Scottish Regulations are clear that no person may kill a horse within sight of any other horse, broadly similar to the regulations that apply in England. It is right and proper to seek slaughterhouses to protect against animal abuse, and the Scottish Government takes the welfare of animals at the time of slaughter very seriously and will continue to do so. As such, the Scottish Government, along with the Food Standards Agency, has already recommended the installation of CCTV as best practice in monitoring the welfare of animals at the time of killing, regardless of the species. At present, the FSA estimates that 95% of animals slaughtered in Scotland are killed in plants, where CCTV has already been installed. The Scottish Government continues to monitor its role in promoting animal welfare. The European Union also plays a role when it comes to guaranteeing the welfare of animals across Europe. Approximately 80% of UK animal welfare legislation originates within the EU, with over 40 laws relevant to animal welfare. These laws cover all 4 groups of animals: farm, research, wildlife and companion, and they have developed over 40 years. In Scotland, we place a value on this legislation. Let us hope that animal welfare will be recognised in the promised Great Repeal Bill, and that there will be no attempt to dilute, cancel or repeal animal welfare laws like those I am advocating here today. While CCTV will not prevent all welfare breaches, it is an invaluable tool to help vets, slaughterhouse operators and auditors ensure best practice and compliance with welfare laws. The evidence that properly monitored CCTV cameras works is compelling. Properly monitored CCTV footage has been used to cast light on thousands of abuses, resulting in slaughterhouse workers' licences being revoked and abusive workers being successfully prosecuted. Independently monitored CCTV protects animals. Cameras also protect staff from bullying and false allegations, promote health and safety, and deter workers from committing acts of cruelty. Where the cameras are properly and independently monitored and robust action is taken where appropriate, they are a powerful deterrent. Where their presence fails to deter abuse, resultant footage provides evidence for prosecutions. The UK Government argues that voluntary CCTV schemes do not work. If so, let us make CCTV mandatory. Independent monitoring and robust action is essential. Without them, the presence of cameras is worthless. I am calling for regulations to set out the details of how the footage is gathered and stored, who monitors it, how much they view and how often. This change can be achieved simply under Section 12 of the Animal Welfare 2006 Act, that provides for the making of regulations for the purpose of promoting the welfare of animals for which a person is responsible. Such a change would not be without precedent, as the Welfare of Farmed Animals England Regulations 2007 were introduced this way. Israel and India have already taken similar steps. Sheffield University has calculated that the cost of an independent CCTV monitoring system would be in the region of £370,000 a year for slaughterhouses in England, substantially less for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Weighed against the cost of not acting, it's worth noting that the Minister has previously stated the cost of cameras itself are relatively modest. The 2016 Rotherham report suggests the cost be met by placing a levy on each animal killed, so that industry and consumers pay rather than government and taxpayers. In this scenario, the cost would be negligible, around 1 pence per animal. 1 pence per animal to avoid further scandals emanating from this industry and further reputational damage arising from welfare abuses, deaths of workers and horsemeat contamination seems like a good investment. An investment that could address inconsistent management practice in slaughterhouses, inconsistency in CCTV usage, variable retention periods and challenge the many businesses currently unwilling to share footage with regulators. While sending a horse to slaughter is clearly not the preferred choice for most horse owners, it is an alternative to other methods of ending a horse's life that are prohibitively expensive, and a more humane alternative to leaving a horse to deteriorate. Mrs Mayor, we must ensure that horses and indeed all animals are treated humanely in slaughterhouses, and I urge the Minister to amend Section 12 of the Animal Welfare Act 2006 to mandate independently monitored CCTV in slaughterhouses.